Pat Mahomes signed a 10-year contract this week, which only reminds me of this, the whole Buffalo Bills connection and trading that number 10 draft pick away to Kansas City gets him, and this guy's supposed to be a generational player. I think, he's great to watch. Do we still hold the Buffalo Bills responsible for this?
If you're asking me personally, I don't. I'm a firm believer in situation matters more than talent of player, right? Like you see a lot of guys in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that wouldn't have succeeded without the systems they were in. Not to say that Pat Mahomes is a system quarterback. I'm blaming more the situation in Buffalo. I do think if the Bills would have stood pat and drafted their quarterback there, you didn't have a general manager at the time. You had a defensive first coach that had never coached an NFL team before. You had absolutely no weapons around Pat Mahomes, right? Like it would have been a disaster. And I don't think that kid comes near achieving what he's been able to achieve thus far. I mean, Kansas City was a perfect situation. They were already a playoff team. They were built around Alex Smith. They knew that they were ready to go. They were just a player away from doing it. They gave him the year. Yeah, I don't know. I can't hold McDermott and everybody else in Buffalo at the time accountable for not wanting to pull the trigger.
I think it's interesting, though, the fact that Duffy brings up the fact that it isn't so much one player. We tend to put a lot into a draft. So if we didn't have that pick and the Bills had that pick, would they have even gotten Mahomes? Was Mahomes even on the radar? It really just depends on where you go. You talk about luck. The draft is luck. That's basically it. I mean, the draft is nobody knows what these players are going to be. There was a chance that Mahomes might have been picked over and he would have gone someplace else, and this great player would have been on a different team. It's the same thing with the Knicks and Steph Curry. There's no way we put so much into a player being drafted. And it is the organization and where they're drafted to, the coach at the time, how much they believe in the player. Injury. Tom Brady basically got his career started basically off of an injury. So we would have never have known what was going to happen if they didn't draft him, had this injury not taken place, then you get Tom Brady. So the draft is really opportunity with organization. Everybody, puts a lot of stock into who drafts who and how smart they are. They're only as brilliant as the next draft pick in the system they're in.
Yeah, it's just there's such a direct line. I mean, the Bills traded that pick to Kansas City, who used it on Mahomes. I read in what I thought was an interesting article. USA Today produced the 10 teams that passed over Mahomes because he was the 10th guy picked. Buffalo traded the pick, and he holds the Bills least responsible for passing over it because they wound up with White and Edmonds, at least indirectly, as a result of not taking Patrick Mahomes, Pat.
Yeah, he's 100% right. You got a definite Pro Bowl corner in Trey White, a guy in Edmonds who is, 7 years old, and he's already been in the league for 2 seasons. Like, he's the youngest linebacker in the league, and he's already played 2 seasons. Yeah, I mean, look, I can't sit here and put on my homer face and say, if I could have Tre'Davious White and Edmonds, I wouldn't trade them for what we get out of Pat Mahomes. No, that's a bald-faced lie. But yes, you got 2 quality players on a defense that's playing very well in exchange for a player that I don't think would have succeeded. Yeah, I would. It's fine. I'm cool with what happened. It happens.
And Tariq, that's also one of these things that Josh Allen has to live with. I mean, Josh Allen, if he becomes a franchise quarterback, certainly not a Pat Mahomes, but a good franchise quarterback, he can dispel all of this because then you're talking about those 3 guys for Patrick Mahomes, and you might make that deal.
Well, I mean, listen, the one thing about Allen is that if he plays extremely well, wins an MVP, and takes his team to the Super Bowl and wins it, he could be looking at a $500,000 deal too, right, Duffy? Like you give him about $500 million deal for that and sign him up for 10 more years.
I don't know about $500 million. I mean, look, the thing about Patrick Mahomes is he's the most. Who doesn't love Pat Mahomes? Like, not only is he talented, not only is he something we really haven't seen before, he's lovable. Like, that's what's crazy about it. One, a human being can be worth $500 million. 2, the Chiefs are going to make money paying him $500 million, right? I don't think Josh Allen is that player. He'll ever be that player. I think he's going to be successful. I think Pat Mahomes is a once in a 25-year kind of football player.
Did you miss the part when I said that he won them a Super Bowl? Did you miss that part and how much it means to you?
Did you see what the Pagulas have been doing with the hockey team, and you think they pay anybody $500 million no matter what happened to that franchise?
I tried. I'm sorry.